All right, what we're fixing to see here is history in the making pertaining to children standing up in regard to global warming, atmospheric imbalances pertaining to the greenhouse effect, and weather events that are obvious that the planet is warming up more and more every year. At the end of this sequence, I want to immediately go over to a newly designed building that you'll be absolutely amazed at its architect. So let's watch as the children today speak out in regard to atmospheric irregularities.
Increase their risk of cardiovascular disease by 6% and their risk of early death by 8%. Students took to the streets.
That study was based around somebody eating too many eggs.
Today in this country and far beyond, calling on our leaders to do more to protect the planet. Let's get more from Kelly Kobiea.
Across America and around the globe, students today went on strike for the climate.
School strike for climate has arrived in America.
Alexandria Villasenor is just 13 years old and has been on strike for nearly 4 months after seeing Swedish teen Greta Thunberg calling out world leaders.
You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes.
Alexandria helped organize the protests across the U.S. And to the adults who say these kids should stay in school,
Adults didn't do anything to prevent this, so they shouldn't be telling us that. If enough youth keep striking and going out to the streets, having civil disobedience, we'll get the action that's needed.
Whatever it takes, they say, to save their future. Kelly Kobiea, NBC News, New York.
Up next, the newest sensation you won't want to miss.
It's sad that children has to stimulate the adults so the adults will wake up
changes in behavior
to what the heck's going on in this world. Just like all the gun violence that happened down in Florida. It's really sad that instead of the adults leading the children, the children are now leading the adults. How much more do we have to suffer on account of people not willing to wake up and people being stubborn, similar towards the tobacco products that was killing people left and right, but because there was so much money involved in it, they didn't want to expose the truth about the tobacco industry. It's based around the same type of motive.
Real-life Manhattan mystery, an all-new Dateline, tonight at 10.
Tornado aftermath, a look at the cleanup after an EF2 tornado ripped through parts of the Local 6 area. Plus, what's next for this church after having part of the roof torn off, and a look at your weekend forecast. It's all ahead at 6.
Tonight we have an inside look at a new vertical landmark with its awe-inspiring views you can't miss. It's called Vessel, and our Gotti Schwartz is there for tonight's Snapshot.
For months now in New York City, on the west side of Manhattan, there have been a lot of questions. Namely, what is this?
A beehive, but for people.
It reminds me of hamsters on a wheel.
They call it Vessel, and in order to appreciate what's going on here, you gotta start from the bottom.
It's bold, it's powerful, it's doing something unique.
The designers say it's art you can climb on, a park in 3D.
In New York, it's absolutely a soaring vertical city.
Over 150 staircases, nearly 2,500 steps to get to the highest point, and we're almost there. Hooray! We weren't alone. During today's grand opening, some of New York's living icons putting in a whole lot of legwork.
Incredible.
I like that it's just not one staircase. It's a magnificent addition to New York City.
And the view from the top worth every single step. I mean, look at this. A soaring new perspective of New York City. And Lester, this whole thing cost a pretty penny to build. We're talking $200 million. But the best part about it, it is free. It is open to the public. So if you haven't gotten your steps in, come on down.
It's quite the view, Gotti. Thanks very much. That's nightly news for this Friday. We're happy to get you to your...
Now, see, somebody spent $200 million on exercise equipment that they could have distributed how many units to each house at $200 million? The Homo sapien race down here up onto the planet does things that are inappropriate whenever it comes to their entertainment. And we're not just talking about entertainment pertaining to movies, music. We're talking about building massive amounts of coliseums so that they can watch their famous football players or their basketball players or their baseball players, while the rest of the country is going to hell in a handbasket pertaining to Venezuela being with their lights turned out and people suffering and all kinds of suffering going on in the Middle East and all kinds of problems with starvation and seeing this type of terrorism that just occurred within the past 24 hours over in New Zealand of an individual or individuals, I don't know if it was one or more than one, that basically just got through slaughtering innocent 49 people just out of a whim. We have never seen so much insanity that is going on today in America. But one thing about the insanity, throughout all the craziness that's going on, we can go back to the heart of a child, to the mind of a child, and even the heart and mind of children can recognize these dangers that we're steadily approaching up into. And they're giving out these warning signs, SOS, help, help, SOS, SOS. But no one is listening. No one is paying attention to what the young youth is saying, because they feel like that their future, their lives, is now in peril because of the adult Homo sapien races. We don't find it appealing. We don't find it funny. We don't find it in the form of entertainment. We find it sad. Sad, sad, sad on every level that a group of people that has so much would have so less of compassion and be so ungrateful of the things that they do have, why others are begging and pleading for help all over the world. We don't find this to be entertaining at all. What we find it to be is disgusting. Disgusting that the adult Homo sapien race over here in America, as far as we are concerned, have lost their ever-loving, intelligent minds towards being able to be in reality towards what either has happened, what is happening, and what possibly is going to happen if we stay on this course of destruction. If there's ever been a time that we needed to pull together and awaken each other and forget all the bickering and the trivial backbiting that has now been going on for the past 30 years since this world conspiracy began with the Reagans and the Bushes and the other trivial, evil, demonic empires or administrations that has risen. If there's ever been a time that we needed to advance our knowledge and look to the future and say, you know what? Enough is enough. We believe that that day has come upon to us, especially here in America, regardless whether it's through the feed of the NBC or the ABC or the CBS major news channels or CNN or whatever news channel that corresponds with this message. We just feel like that the time of awakening has come, because if not, there won't be no future. There won't be no planet. There won't be no NBC. There won't be no humanity. Oh, what a tangled web we do weave when first we look and then realize we have been deceived.